Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do an unboxing and an install of the Acerbis X-Power ignition and clutch cover for the 2025 Honda 300L Rally. Say that 5 times fast. So today, guys, I have something from a company called Acerbis. Let me just see. I'm going to Google this. I have lots of time, right?
Hey, I'm Joe with Revzilla, and today we're going to take a look at the Acerbis independent
Acerbis.
handguards.
That was way off. Now, Acerbis is a company who builds so many things for so many applications, motorcycles being one of them. Today we're going to take the time to unbox it, install it, and I'll give you my first impressions on this product.
Alright, so I ordered this from Revzilla. It's a company out of the United States we are all pretty familiar with. Something that I wouldn't normally do as a Canadian, just because customs and the whole tariff situation. I definitely had to pay a little bit of customs, but it was the only place on the internet I could find these. So let's check them out. Alright, Revzilla, I got the packing foam for the plastic things that I'm gonna beat the shit out of again. Black. Something I'm always worried about when I order something. When there's a color option, I always worry that they'll send me the wrong color. So these are the clutch and ignition covers for my Honda 300L Rally. And it's kind of one more step in protecting it and kind of preserving it from getting the shit beat out of it. So let's take a look. Alright, let's crack them open. Oh, they don't even need a blade. Right, so they're really, really light. A little bit of hardware, instructions, and what looks to be a sticker, which I will be sticking on my bike. My bike is going to be so stickered out that it's going to look disgusting. Alright, so cool looks. I mean, one thing I'm noticing over the course of the last little while with my addiction to online shopping is that things are coming a little less plastic. These definitely have some plastic bags with them. There is the one side, which would be the left-hand side, and then we have the right-hand side. So there you go. Definitely a really hard plastic. This is something that I feel like could potentially break, but because it's kind of snugged right up against the motor, I feel like we really shouldn't have a problem. One thing that I will say is it'll be a pain in the butt come oil change time, because this will have to come off to get my filter off. Anyway, let's take a look at what we got. 4 parts. Sticker. Beautiful. Some instructions, which I mean are nice to have. Beautiful. Over there. And a few little pieces here, some spacers and some other bolts. So we got 1 bolt, 2 bolt, spacer, weird washers that probably have like a specific name. They have like a little sleeve on them, they're almost like little washer spacers. Yeah, that's it. That's all you get with it. I'm excited to get it on. Now that we have everything unboxed, we can move right into the install for this thing.
All right, so the first thing I had to do is obviously get these fairings off. I kind of realized early that if I just loosen them a ton, I could potentially get the protection on without worrying about taking the fairings off completely. Having this Garda skid plate system and the fairings on the $300 rally already makes things difficult in regards to working on the bike. So in the long run, I feel like this is going to be a bigger pain in the butt than I really need. But I mean, all the protection is also amazing. I'll also mention that the left-hand side of the bike is where you're going to want to put these longer bolts that come with the kit. There's only 2, and they go on the left-hand side of the bike.
Okay, should be able to pop it off now. There we go. All right, so that's fairly loose. We'll see if we can get it all in there. There's a lot more going on back here. So I kind of feel like, unfortunately, the skid plate's gonna have to move, which is a 4mm. I just went through all that trouble. We're just gonna have to put it on the kickstand because this whole skid plate is gonna have to come off, which sucks come oil change time. Might actually change my tune on this whole product. All right, let's take it off, shall we? It's a 4mm, which I lost. So I'm using the old Jimmy multi-tool Allen key set. It sucks. I didn't really want to have to do this. But I mean, once a year, I guess, you're gonna take your stuff off. You're gonna take things off and take a look from time to time, so maybe it'll be okay. I mean, this one side, this where the Honda logo is pretty beat up. So maybe in the long run, it'll be for the best. You know what would be cool, Garda? If next time you did this, you left some sort of access for the 2 bolts so that you could take your fairings off without having to take your skid plate off. That's just my 2 cents. Just my 2 cents. Ugh, gross. All right, so let's take a look and see what it is that I'm talking about. And I mean, this does also kind of apply to those of you that are keen on this skid plate. No complaints thus far. If I wasn't putting this on, I wouldn't be complaining either. But there's these guys here, which I'll grab a light maybe for us. Should help out the cause a little. Where are they? Right there, yeah. Then there's one lower, which again I can get to. So let's take these out. Cause she gotta come off, which sucks. A whole bunch. All right, so I think I have the room now. As you can see here, I'll put the camera where it needs to go, and we'll focus on the bike and not my ugly mug. Yeah, I think I can get in there enough now with the bolts that I have off to get this thing on. All right, so the first thing we gotta do is take out 4 bolts. The one here under the rear brake lever. We got one up pretty high. Looks to be just above the oil fill cap. We got one tucked in underneath here, which you can kind of see. And then we have one way in there below the pump. So let's take those out now. Let's go. And the instructions have actually been pretty sweet so far with this little install. So there's our first one. And go. Okay, it's in there. She way back in there. There. All right. Yep. It's coming. Okay, we got one more to get here, and it is right there, I believe, below the water pump. Look at, so we got room. This one's not terrible. So I mean, we're getting away with not completely removing our fairings. I mean, if you don't have the skid plate set up that I have, you're gonna be in better shape than me. But again, I feel like a lot of people will have some sort of a skid plate, aftermarket skid plate for this if they're putting this on their bike, because if you're choosing to protect this and not the front end of the bike,
I mean, your priorities are kind of backwards. Okay, I got all 4 of them are out. All right, so next thing we need to do is put these little bushings in, and I lost one. I'm just gonna use a washer, which will work, but I'll just have to be a little bit more careful, I think, so it doesn't slip on out of there. So they're kind of weird because there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's these other holes just to access some other bolts, but like, I don't understand why you would need to access those bolts because you got to take this off to get to anything anyway. I mean, I don't know. I don't engineer these things. I'm buying them and putting them on my bike, but it could have just maybe the ability to tighten things up if they have come loose, I guess, would be a pretty cool option. All right, we're going to try to get this thing to go on the bike. This is also a little bit of a concern for me because it's pretty tight. But I mean, I do feel like this allots for it. So let's try to slide it in there with this fairing still on the bike without breaking anything. Sliding it in there, sliding it in there. We're gonna do it, we're doing good. The brake pedal appears to be in the way slightly. Oh, nice. Okay. There's our struggle bus here for a while. Great. Getting closer. Not a perfect fit. There we go, baby. All right, we're really close here. These do fit so snug, which is probably a good thing. I feel like this should go underneath. So I'm gonna take this guy off and try to tuck it underneath, because if it does have to come off, then this one will have to come off. So let's try. Okay, so it's in there. We'll put everything kind of where it should go. We'll try to get each bolt in. I'll back this up just to give you a little bit better perspective on what it is that I'm doing. 4 minutes left in this install. All right, so we got stock bolts. We got all of our bushings in except for the one on the bottom, which I will, oh, apparently I took the wrong bolt out. Okay, so I took the wrong bolt out. It's supposed to be this one, not this one. You can see that. So we're gonna do that, I guess, first. Can I get to it? Okay. Let's do it. Bolt number 1 is going to go in. Bolt number 2 needs a little bit of persuading. We're going to get it. We're going to get it to go in. Down below here, where it says coolant. All right, everybody, so that is the install of the Acerbis engine protection. I think time will tell if this is going to be a significant upgrade, if the protection is going to actually do anything for the bike, or if it's going to be more of a pain in the butt for me in regards to maintenance. Something that I can probably speak to once next year's riding season starts. If you're into installation videos, I have one here of the Acerbis exhaust system, and I have another one over here of the Garda skid plate. If you're keen on any of those, check them out, and we'll see you in the next one.